Okay, sixth grade. So our next color wheel adventure together is this project you see right here. It's also why I made a whole bunch of pizza slices. And I will continue to refer to this project as the pizza project because it really kind of has pizza slices in it. So if you look at this carefully, all right, you can still see the order of the color wheel. But we also have these nice even gaps where we broke these pieces apart to create a picture out of all the different pieces we cut, which is kind of called a mosaic. Okay. If you ever see uh, something that's made out of pieces of tiles that make up a picture, with little gaps in between them, that is also a mosaic. So, what we're going to need to do to start this is you're going to need all 12 of your pieces, and you're going to need your color wheel eventually, scissors, and you're just going to pick any piece, doesn't matter which one. You're going to turn it over. And you are going to pick some type of line to draw across here. Keep it relatively simple. It can be curvy or wiggly or zigzag. Something that you could easily cut out with a pair of scissors. Okay, so first step, done. 2 lines going across the shape. You cannot just do a straight line. You must do something creative. So, I'm going to pause the video and take care of that. Then, I'm now ready to cut my first one out. You're going to stay on your cut lines as best as you can. One, two. Notice I didn't trim any pieces off where I got off the line. We don't want to do that, okay? So we have 3 pieces. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a few more, no matter what color. Okay? And you're going to take the end piece. You're going to line it up on top of the one that has no lines on it. You're going to trace it like that. Then you take your pointy piece, line that up at the point, line it up at the sides like this, and trace that. Notice that they are the same. So you're going to continue to do that same thing. For 6 of these shapes. 6. So go ahead and pause the video. Now sometimes they may not line up perfectly. Just get them close. Pause the video and take care of tracing your lines on 6 of your pizza slices. Just like I am doing right here. Okay, so if you were following along and paying attention to my videos and following my directions, you should have 6 pieces that look like this, and then 1 that looks like that. So our next step, you're going to take one of these and one of your ones that you haven't traced on yet. You're going to put them together like this, holding them nice and steady. And you're going to cut on your lines. Remember, we're holding 2 pieces together, so you cannot let them move away from one another or twist or anything like that. So once I've got these cut, I'm going to put them aside in a nice neat pile. Grab another color that I didn't trace on, and I'm going to do the same thing. Put them together so they're nice and even. Cut on my lines. And I'm simply going to repeat that again and again until I have all of these cut out. So you may pause my video again and start taking care of this step. All right, so I've got all my pieces cut. They're in this big old pile right here. I don't want to lose any of those, so I'm going to keep them nice and safe. So now you're going to need this big piece of paper that has a dot in the middle. See it right there. And this piece of cardstock that has a big circle cut out of it. And you are going to get these lined up with each other as perfectly as you possibly can. Okay, they should be the same size. Let's see, I have it lined up there and there. All right. And we are now ready to begin our project. So, we have a lot of separating to do. The first thing you want to do is find all of your pointy pieces. So go through your big pile there and get those out of it. Because those are the pieces we're going to start gluing down first. You should have 12 of them because there's 12 colors on the color wheel. Sure, I have all 12 of mine. Perfect. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find my yellow, and my violet, or purple. I'm also going to find my blue-green and my red-orange. You should be able to tell the difference between your red and your red-orange because red is just a tiny bit darker. Okay, so 4 colors to start. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set these up. Now yellow always goes at the top of the color wheel, so that one's going to point straight up. So if this was a clock, it'd be pointing to 12 o'clock. Then, if I look at my color wheel, I know that purple points straight down because it's at the bottom. So I'm going to set that one up there, making sure that it's nice and straight up and down. Then I'm going to set up my other 2 colors. I know that my blue-green goes at 3 o'clock. It's going straight across. And my red-orange will go at 9 o'clock. Now, once you have those 4 set up just like that, you are going to be gluing them down. We are going to be using white glue for this. Okay, the key to this stuff is if you get it all over your fingers and you touch the colors, it leaves marks on the colors. We don't want to do that. So you really got to take your time. So you're going to start with the yellow, and you're just going to put a little dot on there. Hopefully you can see that. And then you're going to start using the tip, and you're going to start just squeezing very, very gently and getting a little amount of glue on there. And I may even set up little cups of glue with Q-tips, and that might work better for us. So we shall see if I do that or not. If I do, you just use a Q-tip to put the glue on. Okay, now I've spread the glue very, very thin. Now, this is where you're going to have to be real careful not to get glue all over yourself. You're going to just use a corner to kind of pinch and hold, and you're going to set this down where it was sitting before. And you're just going to press down, straight down, with your fingertip without getting glue all over yourself. You can see that that is now stuck down. You might need to push it down again and again, just a couple times to get it to set. And then you move on to your next piece. Glue that one down. Then your next piece, and you glue that one down. And then your fourth, which is red-orange, gets glued down last of these 4 pieces. So pause my video and get those 4 glued now. Okay, so hopefully you have just unpaused because you just glued down these 4 pieces. Our next step is to use our poster, our color wheel poster, and the rest of our bits to kind of get these put in order, and then we're going to be gluing them down 2 at a time. So I want to look at this and figure out what 2 colors go here first. Well, if I look at my color wheel, I can see that it is yellow, green, and then green. I have those 2 pieces right here. I know that they need to fit there. So I'm going to start with the one that's right next to yellow, which is yellow-green. I'm going to get that glued down first. I want to just tuck them together so there's no white gap showing in between them. Okay. You can see I got a little glue on there, my finger from right there. Got to be careful of that because it does mess with the color a little bit. All right. We're going to glue our second color like so. Sometimes they may have to sit on top of each other a little bit. You can see that my green is on top of the blue-green just a little and the yellow-green just a little. They aren't all exactly the same size, and that's okay. Okay, that's why we are doing this way. All right, so I've got my next 2 colors glued. And if I zoom in, you can see what happens if you get glue on your fingers. See the little marks that it leaves, and they will stay there, so you'll really have to be careful. I have big fingers, which is why I have trouble not keeping glue off of these pieces. All right, so I got my yellow, green, and my green done. Back to my poster. I'm going to look for the next 2. And see that I'm going to need blue and blue-violet right there. So those 2 colors. I get those 2 glued down. I'm just scratching the tip of the glue bottle. Or if you have a Q-tip, you're spreading this out nice and thin. Okay, the less glue you use, the faster it will dry and stay in place. Put this over. I'm going to get that right where it belongs, which is against my blue-green. Try and find a clean finger to press down on it. Okay, that color's done. Move to my blue-violet, which is this one right here. A lot of glue on there. I gotta be very careful. And I'm gonna get that one glued down, and yes, it may have to sit on top of the others. That's okay. All right, nice and even. That looks pretty cool right there. I'm pretty happy with it. So then you kids, if you've gotten the pattern down, you know that next you're going to have to do your red violet, and then your red right here, and then your orange and your yellow orange go here. So you can take care of getting the middle of your color wheel finished. The rest of these will be on video number 2 for assembling.